It's Matt from Z93's Morning After, backstage at the Dow Event Center, getting ready for the show. Breaking Benjamin, Skillet, Underoath, and Fight the Fury are here tonight. Show nearly sold out. People are starting to pile in, and I am joined by Spencer and by Chris from Underoath. Nice enough to allow me to come back and hang out for a little bit, though. Chris, I hope I didn't interrupt your card game.
You know you did, but I forgive you. It's rummy. It's kind of a big deal around these parts. So
yeah, everybody else is kind of getting ready for the show, and I walk back here, and there's a very, very important card game going on that I decided to hijack for a minute. But I want to talk a little bit about the show. Last time I saw you, Spencer, we were at the studio. We were at the radio station. You were playing acoustic for some fans, and they were enjoying delicious pizza. And I believe Aaron had said, this is one of the weirder things that I think we've done.
Yeah, that was very strange. It was tight. Yeah, I don't eat pizza either. I try not to. I'm like one of those dudes that's like, oh, I don't eat bread.
Right.
You know, I'm really lame. So that was like the hardest performance because all I was doing was just staring at the pizza like, oh, God, so angry. No, we had a great time though.
Yeah, it was fun having you guys in. And now those fans that came to see the acoustic performance get to see you guys, plugged in here at the Dow Event Center. And this is an interesting tour for you guys. I think when it was announced, I believe you guys kind of labeled it, "We'll try anything once."
Yeah, I mean, for us, it's, any opportunity to play in front of a new fan is a good opportunity for us, be it a festival or a tour. We actually had a funny conversation with our manager, who happens to be in the room. When this record came out, we're like, oh, if we could just land a support tour, because normally Underoath is headlining. It's hard to find bands, that are bigger than us that are going to take us on tour that makes sense for us. And when an opportunity like this arose, it was a no-brainer for us because whether it might be different or we might not fit in for us, as long as you're doing what you do and you don't change who you are, we'd go on tour with Justin Bieber if he asked to. It doesn't matter to me. As long as you're staying true to yourself, like an opportunity to win a new fan over. And as a concert goer myself, like I love when I go to see a band and someone before the band I bought tickets to see surprises me and I'm like, oh wow, that's I'm gonna go check this out. Like something new to listen to. So for us it's a win-win. Like we just got off our longest probably set headlining tour or biggest headlining tour we've ever done right before Christmas. Last day was December 14th. So, we just did this big tour. What we're going to do next. And then we got, 2 support tours lined up. We do this. And then as soon as we're done with this, we have like a month before we go out with Alice in Chains and Korn. So we said, if we can land a support tour, and we're supporting all year. So
yeah, right.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So how different is it, Chris, playing a support slot as opposed to headlining? I mean, just a few months ago, you guys were headlining the Royal Oak Music Theater, selling that out, and now you're playing a show in Saginaw, and you're the second band to go on of 4.
yeah, I think there's pros and cons to both of them, but just like a sort of peek behind the curtain thing, whenever we all talk about it, like we're always so pumped to support because it's just a lot more. It's a lot easier because we get to come in. It's not our crowd. So like however the show does, it's all the same to us. We get to play in front of a bunch of new people. Our set is only like 40 minutes. So we get to just go pedal on the metal the whole time. And and then we get to get off and go eat dinner and watch some other bands play. And it's awesome. I love it.
So there's a little bit less pressure, I guess, for a support slot than there is for headlining because it's not all on your shoulders. I mean, when you're headlining a show, it's under oath. We better sell some tickets. Where this, if the show sells well, that's awesome because you're going to play in front of a bunch of new people. If it doesn't, you're like, okay, well, we still get to play in front of some people, so that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, like Chris said, is the opportunity to play in front of new people. I mean, some festivals are support slots. You might have some of the arms crossed and like the people that are just, you could tell they're only there to see the headlining band. But I think I kind of like that because I feel like I need to earn it. I have to work harder. Like, and as being the front man, like I feel that, I love when the energy is pouring back at me on a headlining show, but there's something about the opposite effect that makes me just want to work harder. And we talk about that as a band before we go on a tour like this. Is like, you know what? Every night might not be great for us, but you never know like who is listening and who's actually going to pick up on the band. And that's why you just give it your all, like no matter what. I mean, it could be a crowd full of arms crossed, but we'll have a great time forcing our music down their throats,
Joined by Spencer and Chris from Underoath, the Dow Event Center tonight. Show nearly sold out. It was pretty awesome going through photos from the Grammys and seeing you guys there.
Yeah, that was wild, right? Never did we think we'd be at the Grammys. That was bananas. We lost, but being nominated is a win to me. I mean, like out of all the bands that could have been nominated, Underoath was one of them. So that's a win. Like someone's paying attention that normally wouldn't, I guess, like that side of the world. So that's pretty wild. Like our friends Bring Me the Horizon and The Fever, and Between the Buried and Me, like those are all our homies, and we all got nominations this year, which to me is like a win for heavy rock music, like whether we all lost, but still we're all a part of something that we weren't before.
Does the Grammy nomination, Chris, does it sort of, I don't want to say justify you guys kind of getting back together and giving this thing another go, but is it one of those things where like, okay, this is working, this is awesome?
I think that it's one of a million things that we've kind of got that vibe on since we've been back together and playing again. So you're telling me there's a chance? No, it's all stuff for us that is honestly just icing on the cake. Like the fact that we are back playing shows, like that was honestly the initial idea behind, playing together again was just to play some shows, but then a record came out of it, and, we're getting all these awesome tours and the Grammy thing, like all of that stuff for us is just more of like a wow, like can't believe that we're back together. It's going well, and it's going better than it has before, which who could have thunk that would be the case. So yeah, it's awesome.
We played our biggest headlining shows in our whole career on our last tour 13 years into it. It's like it's been incredible. We're working harder than we've also worked since we were probably 18 as well. Like as you saw when we were coming out and doing the acoustic stuff, like we've been pretty nonstop since we got back together pretty much. So it's been seeing the work actually pay off. And then, like you said, the Grammys is just icing on the top, but it's every little thing. Like even this, like a band like Breaking Benjamin probably wouldn't have taken out a band like Underoath a couple years ago, and like we're getting these opportunities, so I think it's pretty special.
And it's got to be great to know that the fans, even though you guys were away for a little bit, the fans are still there. You guys released a new album, and people are excited about that, which has got to be exciting too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like having your old fans show up, and we did meet and greets every day on tour. You have people coming out that saw us for the first time at Rock on the Range, and we have people that were like, this is my 50th show of Underoath, so being able to service both sides, like new people and old, it's tight.
And tonight, obviously, Chris, the hope is that you have a bunch of people that are maybe they're here to see Breaking Benjamin, and they get here early enough, they get to see you guys, and maybe the next time you guys play a headlining show in Detroit or Grand Rapids, or maybe you come back to Saginaw, they all come back to see you guys again.
That is the exact idea. Nailed it.
Now, the new album has been out for a while. What is the plans in terms of music? Are you guys going to keep touring this for a little bit and then get back to the studio? I mean, I know that you guys have this tour going on, and then you're going back on the road with Alice in Chains and Korn, which is crazy. Do you guys have plans for the next album already?
Yeah, I think we're always kind of creating. I think that we're those type of people who are always going to be writing something. So, as far as this year's concerned, we have the year booked. We have some stuff that's going on later in the year that's not announced yet, but we're always working on something.
We won't make it to the studio this year, but that doesn't mean we won't be writing, and we'll see. Or maybe we'll never make another record again. Who knows? Stay tuned.
Let's break up.
Joined by Spencer and Chris from Underoath. How surreal was it hearing your guys' name announced as like the support band for Alice in Chains and Korn? How crazy is that?
I've legitimately never been more excited for any tour that we've ever done. Like when we announced that we were doing it, on like our socials and everything, it just said, well, this might be the coolest thing we ever do. And like that's literally like that was my whole thought. And normally when it comes time for, us to be submitted for tours and stuff, normally personally, I just kind of stay out of it. I'm just like, oh, I hope we get something cool. But if we don't, it's fine. But I was literally texting our agent probably like once a week, just being like, hey man, did you hear anything about that tour? And when we finally got confirmation that we were on it, I personally, I just couldn't believe it. I was very, very pumped. Both of those bands were a really big deal and are a really big deal to me. So to be able to, even if that was just one show that we got to play this summer, I would be ecstatic. But the fact that it's our entire summer is just crazy.
It's nuts. I've been listening to Alice in Chains my whole life, basically. And then Korn, I mean, on their first record, my older brother, before I could even drive, and he had the sticker on his car, and like I used to ride in the back of a 2-seater car with him and his friends, and they were like blast Korn, like that. All that stuff influenced, like it was like that Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains era into Korn that introduced me into like Limp Bizkit and the Deftones and Linkin Park, which in turn introduced me like more metal and stuff like that. So like Korn and Alice in Chains are both two of the probably most important bands that shaped me that are still around today. Like it's just nuts. Like getting that tour is like, me and Chris like sitting behind Alice in Chains at the Grammys, like, and like we played a show at Jonathan Davis I just wanted to talk to him so bad, but like some stuff in his personal life had gone down. I was like, I just didn't know how to talk to him. I was like his vocals, and like that was like the first breakdown I ever heard, and like just everything about it. Like the first VHS tape about a band that we had outside of the Nirvana stuff that we had as kids was the Korn one that my brother had. I don't remember what the name of that documentary was, but I remember they were always drinking Coors Light in it, and it was always blurred out. I don't remember that documentary. I'll find out and get back to you. But that was like one of the first things we ever owned, like as kids. Like it's bananas. Like that is a dream come true tour for me, and I know for Chris and the whole band, you know.
So I know you joked around about maybe you never go back to the studio, but I mean, if you were to end the year, you know, Erase Me gets a Grammy nomination, you guys tour with Alice in Chains and Korn, like you'd be all good.
That would be going out on a high note for sure. There's nowhere to go but down after 2019.
That's it. We quit while we're on top.
Looking forward to seeing you guys tonight at the Dow Event Center. It's Breaking Benjamin, Skillet, Underoath, and Fight the Fury. I'll let you guys get back to your card game here, and we'll see you on stage here in a little bit. Thank you.
Right on, man. Thanks.